Over time, you're going to be creating a lot of different program files, and at some point what you're going to need to do is to be able to debug these properly. So if I want to take a look at the code that we have here, which is 7-segment checker, we can simply just click on seg checker. We can right mouse click and say export program. So what we're going to do is we're going to change it from Kyle Microvision to Kinetis Design Studio and simply click export. And we're going to say save file. And because we're working with Firefox, we can just click up here, open containing folder, and just double click on this, and it's going to create a folder from the original zip file. Now what we want to do at this point is open up another version of File Explorer, and what we want to do is transfer the file from one to the other. So right now, where does Kinetis Design Studio expect to find its stuff? It's in C drive, under users, your username, and under workspace.kds. So all I have to do is just grab this and slide it down to workspace KDS, and that's all we need to do to have it available for Kinetis Design Studio. Now that we have our program in workspace.kds, we simply have to go to File, Import, Existing Projects into Workspace, hit Next, do Browse, and it should go to workspace.kds where we just say OK, and there's our program. We can just say Finish, and at this point we can see that it's come in. If we open it up, we can see segchecker.cpp, and there's our program. And at this point we have to say Project, Build All. We get Debug, Debug Configurations, GDB OpenOCD Debugging, segchecker double click, and away it goes. Now while it's doing this, you're going to see this light flashing until the download is finished. It may take a few minutes before that is complete, and when it does, during this process, it may ask you to open the debug screen, and you should say yes to that. Now there's a lot of things that can go wrong that it won't do the download. One of them is you may have forgotten to plug in your Freedom K64. Another one is you may just have to do this debug configurations and try again. Another thing that might happen is it may not switch to the debug perspective. What you can do is go up to Open Perspective and select Debug and double click, and it should go to this. Now you may not like the layout of this, and I don't, so I'm just going to leftmost hold down on the debug and slide it over here. And I might want to move this up here. And I might want to move some things over like this and slide this down to make a different perspective. And that's not so bad. Now what I can do at this point is say Window, and I can say Save Perspective As, and I've already created one called My Debug, but you can call it anything you like, and create your own perspective. So the next time you can use My Debug to debug your code here. Now we can see that we've got our variables listed here, we've got our program there. So what we can do is we can go up here to the reset to start everything from the beginning. Now notice over here there's a ball here. This ball is a breakpoint. Now we can actually just run our program and see our program running as it did before. Or we can hit pause, and that will stop our program at this point. And again we can hit reset. And what we can do is then say step over. So if we say step over, you can see the values changing over here. It's done temp, but it has yet not done the 7 segs equals temp. And if we do step over, it's done that. And so we can see things change. Now one of the things we can do is set our own breakpoint by double clicking here to get a little blue ball. And if we run that, every time we run it, it's going to run down to this code, and we can see every time we run that over here, our segment is going to change because it's saying if value is less than 1. And what that happens is when we get down to the dot. So if we keep clicking, we're going to see here, now after we click one more time, it's just going to continually go back, and when it gets back to the start, then we can click again. And we can even take out our breakpoint. Just double clicking, and go back to full run mode and see our program working. So this allows us to debug our program and to look at it step by step. When you're finished with your program, you should terminate, but before you do that, you can always do pause and take a look at what's going on, because as soon as you terminate, that's it. You're going to have to launch the debug again, and that could take a while.